everybody was mortified.
As soon as I read it, everything became a blur.
I literally was in disbelief, like, not Bainbridge, not this place.
My God, you know, at this rate, this industry will empty the forests of macaques.
I love Bainbridge. I love Bainbridge, and I love the people of Bainbridge, and I know most of the people of Bainbridge.
Bainbridge it's country, it's quiet, it's got a little bit of city.
I love this place. I've been living on this property since I was 15 years old, and this is home to me. This is home to my family. It's where I raised my kids.
We enjoy being here and raising our children in a small town where if you're out somewhere and you need something, you'll probably see somebody that you know.
This is where I brought my wife home after we got married. This is everything to me, and I love this place. I don't want to see it go down.
Soon, a small Georgia city could have twice as many monkeys as people. If a massive breeding facility housing 30,000 long-tailed macaques comes to town.
It was in the newspaper, and it was saying that a monkey husbandry was coming.
When we first found out, a good friend of ours' father owns a lot of farmland around here, and they just called and said, "Have you heard about the monkey farm?"
I knew from the documents that were presented to me that there was a unnamed project that was wanting to relocate or locate in Decatur County, and that it would involve animal husbandry.
They had the meeting. They discussed the agreements and all. They described it as an animal husbandry facility during the meeting. It wasn't until afterwards, I believe, when I began asking questions I was told it was a monkey facility.
For the raising, if you will, of primates.
So I said, primate, that's monkeys. So husbandry, I had to Google it, and I was like, housing, monkey housing? Then I looked at the picture on the front of the Post Searchlight, which is our local newspaper. The concept picture that they had made was like, it looks like a whole neighborhood of houses for monkeys.
I didn't know what it was because I couldn't even fathom that there was any husbandry or anything like that that would house that many animals.
They gave the project a nickname. They called it Project Liberty.
So after that, I made a brief little write-up to put online just to get the story out. Didn't think much of it. And that's when people started on Facebook. They really started reacting.
That's when the public began to get out information that made many people say, what have we done?
I went to search the company, and when I went to search them, I could not find anything. There was no online presence.
In the city of Bainbridge, obviously, they think we're stupid. We're insulted. It insults my intelligence for somebody to think that I'm buying into all that crap.
So I actually took it to a board member that I knew, and I asked him, I said, have you heard anything about this? Because they're not showing up online, and we're giving them all these tax breaks and money. I don't think it's a legit business.
I am Dr. Lisa Jones-Engel. I'm PETA's Senior Science Advisor for all things primate. Late 2023 was the year of the monkey farm, it turns out. In December, we suddenly learned there was actually, we saw a news story, a media story, a print story, and a TV story about a proposed facility in Bainbridge, Georgia.
City officials think the $400 million project run by a company called Safer Human Medicine will be an economic boom.
Then we learned that this proposed facility was going to be 30,000 monkeys. my God, you know, at this rate, this industry will empty the forests of macaques. And then I actually read just a little bit more closely. And that's when we saw who the main players were. Jim Harkness, Kurt Durfee, David Jost. Harkness had already been tied to an absolute disaster.
So before Safer Human Medicine's CEO came on board to Safer Human Medicine, he was the COO of a company named Envigo. This is a company that, in addition to importing monkeys, also ran a beagle factory farm that supplied beagles to laboratory experiments. The Department of Justice ended up coming down on this company. They took dogs who were in acute distress out of there and eventually shut the entire place down. That's how hideous this place was. And Envigo even pled guilty to conspiracy to violate the Federal Animal Welfare Act as well as the Federal Clean Water Act, because they were also not properly treating the water coming out of this facility.
The Humane Society of the United States is carrying out its largest animal rescue ever.
4,000 beagles rescued from the Cumberland, Virginia breeding facility run by research company Envigo.
We knew what this man was capable of. He was in charge of that facility when the undercover investigations were going on, when the USDA was coming in.
What I don't understand is how these people are on all these boards and no one does research.
I don't know the type of person it takes to oversee a facility where you have that kind of disease, death, and suffering.
This is all under Jim Harkness's purview. He was COO of the company.
The others I could tie to what had been going on in Southeast Asia, in Cambodia, where a 5-year investigation by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife had demonstrated that these companies were bringing in wild-caught monkeys. And they were part of this international monkey laundering.
Something that I find so frustrating is that it's hard to hold these individuals accountable. You just see them retiring from one company, and here they are trying to start something new, trying to start under a name that sounds so benign, under a project name that says Project Liberty. What could possibly be wrong with Project Liberty?
So these guys, I mean, their record was clear. They had one thing in mind. It was never animal welfare. It was never safer human medicines. It was how much money could I get off the backs of these animals?
These are individuals who, if the city and county had just taken a minute to Google their names, they would have seen exactly the type of business that's coming here.
Rick McCaskill was quoted by NBC as saying, "It's a tremendous investment, and it's a tremendous amount of good-paying jobs."
You know, the folks in Bainbridge, what they're going to be hired for is to muck out the rooms, to spray them down, to be the ones to go in and literally grab the monkeys from the cage and hold them down while somebody puts a tattoo on them, or, you know, the tech, you know, puts a TB test in their eyelid.
The city and the development authority did not do the proper vetting that they should have done, and if they would have done the proper vetting, that they probably would have never brought this industry.
I don't know if they got their shirt pulled over their heads over this mess, or if they just were looking at dollar signs for the county or for themselves.
I was pretty sure that the folks in Bainbridge had no idea who these guys really were. And I was going to make sure that they learned very quickly.
What we started doing was investigating. And several people in our group really started digging deep.
When we really understood what this company was planning on doing here, we got fired up because what we thought it was is now worse.
Once we started talking to individuals that served on each one of those boards, we realized that they did not have the information beforehand either.
Early on, neither I nor the county commission board members knew the extent of the project.
There was a secret meeting that did not properly advertise to the people. Otherwise, we all would have been there.
We knew that those were illegal meetings, because none of it was posted. We were all aware of that.
At that meeting, I really feel like their motivation was money.
It would have to be, because there's nothing in it for the taxpayers that's going to be good. There's nothing in it for the community. There's nothing in it for the environment. Why else would you do it if not for the money?
We took some official action on that day. It had to have been noticed. We didn't do it. The county commissioners didn't do it.
In addition to that, that lawsuit has been amended because a number of citizens and myself have tried to obtain records from the city of Bainbridge in connection with this matter, and the city is refusing to turn over those records, which is separately a violation of the Open Records Act.
You know, this is the thing about Safer Human Medicine. It only exists on paper. There is nothing real about Safer Human Medicine. There's nothing real about the way that they're portraying what this facility would be.
The community, we came together like I had never seen before. Black people, white people, old people, young people, everyone was there, was out the door. People really got together when we found out how bad this was, and they really held the officials accountable, asking, what the heck were you thinking?
If the people who voted for this, including me, had been privy to the information that we have here tonight, no, we wouldn't have voted for it.
I'm the last person that I ever thought would be working with PETA. I used to loathe PETA when I was a teenager. I've had a sticker on the back window of my truck that had PETA, and it said, "People eating tasty animals." And I thought it was hilarious at the time, and you know, a lot of things change, and at that time I felt that way. PETA came in here and has supported us by bringing people together. They've supported us financially. I don't know if we'd be where we are right now without them. I am grateful for that. Never thought I'd say that. It's a funny world we live in.
The community here took off. They understood immediately what they were facing.
We're decreeing no monkey business in this town. We thank you, God, for each and every person that's gathered here right now. We in agreement. We'll let our prayers be our first response, but not our last resort. Amen.
There was going to be no monkey facility in Bainbridge. Not on their watch.
What is that supposed to emulate here?
This is actually the sound of these macaques doing transport. These are young monkeys, and this is the way that they transport them.
My concern is the risk of infectious diseases for monkeys in the community.
The Development Authority is responsible for this.
Oh yeah.
These people didn't do it. The Development Authority did it. They just let everybody.
But they don't uphold the Constitution.
Amen.
So my thing is, they violated our rights, period, point blank.
But the rest of them, I think everybody on that board needs to show up. Say we sorry, we made a mistake.
Do we want an industry such as Safer Human Medicine likening itself to us? For me, that answer is no. Thank you.
This is the crates that they will be shipped in. This is exactly what they look like. They're crammed in. So right off the bat, even during transport, they're already suffering.
The Bainbridge citizens give PETA a run for its money as far as do not mess with these folks.
Right here where I'm standing, my house is 110 feet. Back this way is the monkey farm. I'm right about on the line. 300 foot from where I'm standing will be a monkey house. So that's how close we are, 300 foot. That's the length of a football field. This is the monkey farm. Bainbridge is that way, right straight that way. About 2.5 miles as the crow flies. With that many monkeys now, and this wind coming the way it's coming now, you're gonna get monkey smell in Bainbridge. I am now part of a nuisance lawsuit that's designating safer human medicine as a nuisance.
We would smell them. Our health would be at risk because of the diseases. And so, yes, that's a very big concern. And we love being outside.
Our home is next to Johnny and Penny's residence, and our property line is approximately 300 feet from the proposed facility that Safer Human Medicine is going to build. One of the biggest fears that we have about this facility is the chance of disease spreading.
I spent 30 years in the primate biomedical industry. So all aspects of it, from being in the field in Asia and being in some of the monkey farms that supplied monkeys, to really actually starting out in the labs as a technician doing husbandry for the chimpanzees and for monkeys. The minute you take those monkeys and you insert them into the primate importation pipeline, all bets are off. Their immune systems crumble. They're exposed to pathogens along the way. And you actually have a macaque ticking time bomb at that point. I want to do good science, and we're not doing good science. And it came to a point that I was like, I'm not gonna be a part of this anymore.
Any facility that has animals or humans in it in close proximity to each other are gonna have diseases.
This industry is more likely to ignite the next pandemic than it is to do anything to improve human health. And that's because the monkeys who are kind of coming into the US in this importation pipeline have been shown, documented by the Centers for Disease Control, to be arriving with multiple strains of tuberculosis, with Yersinia, Campylobacter, Shigella, Salmonella, Ebola-like viruses, malaria, simian retrovirus, herpes B virus, a tier 1 select agent virus, a bacteria, a pathogen that's so dangerous that we actually consider it a bioterrorism weapon. That's what these animals are coming into the country with. That's what they're entering and exiting CDC quarantine with.
Primates have a lot of diseases that transfer to humans and other animals. And we're roughly 600 yards from the Flint River.
I was mostly concerned about the contamination of the river that I live on. That was my immediate concern.
So let's just start with the best case scenario. And let's also assume that the facility is built and that we now have 30,000 monkeys. Let's also assume that the wastewater treatment is working, that nothing is slipping past. I've seen no design drawings whatsoever for these hookups. I've seen no pre-treatment specs on it. I've seen nothing about viral control. How many times has that site where they're proposing to build it gone underwater? And it only takes one big hurricane to knock out all the electricity.
The reason that we use primates in experimentation is because they're supposed to be really good models for humans. That's what we were always told as scientists. But a model is only as good as it is well characterized. So if you don't know what's in your monkey model, you don't know about those unintended infections, and you go and you put your experimental compound into those animals. And then you start drawing out bits and pieces of them. And you see that their immune system is activated, or that something's happening to their liver or their kidneys. And if you are not aware that there's this other undetected, unintended infection raging in them, tuberculosis, Chagas, you name it, you actually won't know whether that immune response is the result of your experimental drug or this unintended infection. And you know what? That's one of the main reasons I think that we see 90 to 95% of the drugs that are tested in primates fail when we go on to human clinical trials. You can't get a quick, efficient, correct answer from an animal model. And the scientists understand that now. And so there's a huge surge in the use of non-animal methods. The 3D printed tissues, the stem cell research, the AI, the big data, all the tools are out there. The people who are holding on to the monkey tail, who are riding those monkeys, those are the people who have a vested interest in the infrastructure that they built in order to maintain these animals. But the scientists are voting with their dollars and saying, no, thank you.
I didn't move here for this. I live for peace.
The abuse of the monkeys is horrific.
To live somewhere where I know that animals are being abused.
You know, macaques, when they live in the wild, they live in large multi-male, multi-female troops. Relationships are everything for a macaque. In a facility, relationships mean nothing. The breeding corrals are set up so that you have, you know, a dozen unrelated females. You put in one male in there. His job is to get the girls pregnant. There is no social structure. The macaques they're angry, they're stressed, they have no social cohesion. They are dangerous to each other. They are nothing like a macaque in the wild.
We've all been educated so much from this, and that's sad because everything we've learned is horrifying.
You take a primate and you take away everything from them, you take away their ability to choose who they're gonna be with, any type of comfort that they would get, their ability to have real companionship of their own choice, their ability to challenge that big brain of theirs, and you are left with an animal that is destroyed and an animal who has one thing in mind, and that is to get out of that spot. And so every single facility that has primates has escapes. You have escapes all the time.
Workers are laying traps to catch dozens of monkeys that escaped from a research facility last night.
The 43 rhesus macaques made a break for it on Wednesday, escaping from the Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center in Yemassee, South Carolina.
There is no doubt whatsoever that these macaques are sentient. There is no meaningful difference between us and macaques. They love each other the way that we love each other. The males and females will protect their offspring in the same way that we will protect ours. They're such brilliant animals. They engage in play, they have complex cultures. Different populations of macaques throughout Asia have very specific cultures. Everything about them that is primate, we share.
It feels horrible just imagining people abusing animals on purpose down the road.
No matter where you're at, no matter what part of the world you live in, this could be you next.
We're not going to go away quietly. In fact, we do not intend to go away at all. And they're the ones who need to get the hell out of our town.
We all need to stand up and stop this, because if we don't, they'll just continue on.
We don't want them here. We don't care about their profits. We don't care about anything. We don't want that type of a business at all in our community.
They don't care about saving people. They don't care about the medicine side of it. They care about money.
Safer human medicine. It's not safe, it's not humane, and it's not medicine.
I'd say the people have spoken. We do not want you here.
I have one job at PETA, and my job is to put an end to the primate industry.
A company profiting off animal abuse to live here, that, try not to cry, that would mess me up. I couldn't live here. I would have to move. I would not be a part of something like that. I would have to move.
I was horrified to learn about the plans to build a breeding facility in Bainbridge, Georgia, that could house up to 30,000 monkeys. I, like so many around the world, support the residents of Bainbridge in their fight to stop this facility from going ahead. No macaque deserves to be born into the animal testing industry. This scale of breeding could usher in a dark, new era where experiments on monkeys increases despite the advancement and capability of non-animal alternatives to vivisection. I hope that the documentary film shines a global spotlight on the residents' fight, which I hope they win, and send the message that testing on macaques belongs to the history books, for our sake and theirs.